him. Her Billy, so strong and yet so gentle. She was glad that little Johnny looked so like him, his fair curly hair springing in an untidy halo about his head, his eyes of velvety blue. He'd had blue eyes when he was born, and Charlotte had been afraid that they might change as he grew from a baby to toddler. Over the first months they had altered, but remained blue, deepening to almost navy, just like Billy's. "I went to see the vicar this afternoon," she told Billy later, as, with both children safely tucked up in bed, they sat down at the kitchen table to eat their supper. "To sort out Edie's christening. He would like it to be part of a service and suggests a fortnight on Sunday. That's a service of morning prayer. That way anyone from the village who wants to can be there. I said it sounded fine to me, but that I'd ask you." Billy shrugged. He wanted his children christened, but he was not a great churchgoer and was happy enough to leave the actual arrangements to Charlotte. "Sounds all right to me, as long as it suits Mum and Dad." "I'll take the children over to see them tomorrow and ask. Then I can confirm to the vicar. He wanted to know who her godparents were going to be." "And what did you say?" "I said we were going to ask Claire and Caroline to stand as godmothers," Charlotte said. "But we hadn't chosen a godfather yet." She smiled across at Billy. "Who would you like as her godfather?" "Don't know," said Billy. "Who do you think? What about your Uncle Dan?" Charlotte had thought of Uncle Dan, too. He and his wife, Naomi, had taken Charlotte into their home when she arrived in London as a refugee from the Nazis in 1939. They had looked after her and helped her adjust to her new life in a foreign country. They had lost touch with each other during the Blitz, when Charlotte had been evacuated to Wynsdown. But after the war, they had been reunited, and Dan had been proud, as her foster father, to give Charlotte away when she married Billy in Wynsdown Village Church. "Do you think they'd come down?" she wondered. "It'd be lovely to see them all." "Why don't you ring them and ask?" Charlotte beamed at him. "You're right. I'll phone as soon as we've finished supper. But," she continued, "that's not my only bit of news. After I'd seen the vicar, Mrs. Vicar asked us to stay for a cup of tea." During the war, the evacuees from London, uncertain of how to address Avril Swanson, the vicar's wife, had called her Mrs. Vicar. The nickname had stuck, and now most of Wynsdown used it, and despite the closeness that had grown up between them over the years, Charlotte never called her anything else. "She was telling me all about Caroline's wedding," she went on. "Caroline's coming down to live at the vicarage for 3 weeks before her big day. Anyhow, we were sitting in the vicarage kitchen drinking our tea when Mrs. Bellinger arrived. She'd come to see Mrs. Vicar and was absolutely bursting with news." "So, what's up?" "Her son Felix rang last night. He's got engaged and he's bringing his fiancée to meet his parents in a few weeks. She's called Daphne." "Are they pleased?" Billy asked. "Difficult to say," Charlotte said. "Of course she'd come to tell Mrs. Vicar. She wasn't expecting me to be there, so really all she said was that Felix had got engaged and would be coming down soon. I got the impression it was a total surprise, that she and the squire weren't sure what to think. They don't seem to have known anything about her. Anyway, I brought the children away so she could talk to Mrs. Vicar properly." "It's probably a good thing," Billy said now, as he pushed his empty plate away. "Squire's not getting any younger, and Felix should be coming home to take over some of the responsibility for the estate. He's been away too long." "I don't think I've ever seen him," Charlotte said. "He's hardly come home since I've been in the village." "Well, you haven't missed much," said Billy dismissively. Billy had only a distant interest in Felix Bellinger. Though they had grown up in the same village, the 10-year difference in their ages had meant that Billy was still a child when Felix had left his boarding school in Sherborne and gone up to Cambridge, and the only time their paths really crossed was just before the war, when they rode to hounds with the local hunt. During the war, Felix had been a fighter pilot in the RAF, scrambled night after night to take on the bombers coming in waves across the coast, heading first for the RAF bases and later for London and other major cities. Miraculously, to the overwhelming relief of his parents, he had survived. So many others in his squadron had not, and when peace broke out, he didn't want to return to Somerset.